It's December, which means it's time to think about Christmas gifts, and books are always a good choice. I'm going to take a look at some that I've recently read or am in the process of reading, and as the reviews are completed I'll link them in this story. The first one is called Coast, and it's a celebration of that coastline. This is packed with amazing illustrations. There's no denying that that is just gorgeous. It's a $75 book, but it would make a lovely gift for, a homesick Kiwi. The next one is Landscape Paintings of New Zealand. This is actually a reissue. It was originally released, I think, in 2006. There were originally 103 paintings in the 2006 version. This one has 32 new ones added. You've got paintings from the likes of Colin McCann, Dick Frizzle and Rita Angus, and it just takes a different look at New Zealand. Instead of the usual photographs, this is celebrated through the eyes of the artist. If you have a taste for Kiwi art, perfect book, perfect gift. Next up, there are a couple of really amazing books on war. The first one by Glyn Harper. Now, Glyn Harper has written many books on New Zealand's military history. This one's called Images of War, and it's a massive beast of a book. Okay, it's $100, but it is pretty special. The photographs, a lot of them were taken by the soldiers themselves on cameras that they'd smuggled in their kit bags because they were actually not allowed to have cameras during the First World War. Some of the pictures are quite graphic, but they're very confronting. It's amazing. It's an amazing book, and I think it's something that every Kiwi home should have. I know $100 sounds a bit steep, but if you can afford it, get this. It was a turning point in New Zealand's history. It was when we came of age as a nation, and I know that's something we hear every year on Anzac Day, but it is so very true. Then we've got what would be a nice companion piece to that, New Zealand and the First World War. Okay, it comes in a slipcover, and it's kind of like a scrapbook. And then inside that, there's this hardcover book that is just a beautiful graphic narrative of our war from the point of view of the soldiers on the front line and those who were at home. And it features, posters and fold-out maps, little extra bits and pieces like that, and even like little letters and cards that slide out of envelopes. It's presented beautifully and in such a way that I think younger readers would find it really easy to absorb. Now, do you have a wordy in your life? Someone who is a fan of the likes of the Uxbridge? If so, Afterlife might be the one for them. It's a cute little book that just features words or things that there should be words for. For example, Fingal's Cave, the inevitable result of cheap lavatory paper. There you go. So there it is, cute little book, complete with a free sticker that says free sticker. What more could you want? So Cockroaches is the latest book by Norwegian musician and economist and author Jody Spo. This is one of the earlier Harry Hurler novels that's finally been translated into English for his English-speaking fans. I've just started it, and so far it's pretty good. And if you wanted to, you could add in Police, which came out in September, and this is actually the latest Harry Hurler novel. It should come as absolutely no surprise to anyone that James Patterson has been writing books, because the man seems to write a gazillion books every year. Fortunately, they're very readable. So Gone is the latest Michael Bennett crime thriller, and it features a mass murdering drug baron, as you do. It's been pretty easy to read so far. I'm reading this as well. I tend to read 2 books at a time. And if you wanted to, make your favourite James Patterson fan really excited on Christmas, you could add in Mistress, which was the standalone he released in September, I think. And his books are always great reading for the holidays. They're very easy to pick up and put down, short chapters, great for reading in airports, on planes. or just sitting on a deck chair with a cold beer in your hand. Then we've got The Prey by Tony Park, who is an Aussie author who divides his time between Australia and South Africa. This is a thriller about the illegal gold trade in South Africa. It's lots and lots of action from what I've gathered. I've heard good things about it, so I'm looking forward to reading that one. His first two books were really good. So he wrote Dark Heart and African Dawn, so I'm expecting nothing less from this one. This one is by Terry Hayes. It's called I Am Pilgrim, and it's a massive book of Stephen King proportions, as you can see. Now, Terry Hayes co-wrote the Mad Max 2 screenplay, and he also co-produced the likes of Beyond Thunderdome and Dead Calm, so he's got a pretty good track record. This novel is a sizable read, but it's worth the effort. I've just finished it, and it was lots of action, lots of twists. Really enjoyed it. It's a crime thriller with murder and stolen eyeballs and pilgrim, which is the code name for a man who doesn't exist. The publisher has compared this to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and Silence of the Lambs, and I think it's a pretty good comparison, and it does stack up really well. It came out a couple of months ago, I think, so if you have got a thriller fan on your Christmas Prezi list, this would be a good choice. Now let's go back, if we may, to a couple of other non-fiction type offerings. I grew up with Sesame Street and then later the Muppets, and I've got to say, I still love the Muppets. Jim Henson was a genius. Hence the reason I think this is awesome and would be a perfect Christmas gift. It's Jim Henson's biography, written by Brian J. Jones. We all love the Muppets, and this is a really comprehensive read about the legend that is Jim Henson, or that was, sadly. And finally, The Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth. Now, I don't know whether you've heard much about this, but it's by Chris Hadfield, who is probably the most well-known astronaut since the heyday of the moon landings with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. He's the dude who made us all smile with his music video of David Bowie's Space Oddity earlier in the year. And let's face it, he's probably one of the few people in this world who is actually qualified to sing those lyrics. And it's just his take on life and what he's done. And he's had a pretty incredible life. So that's it. Happy Christmas shopping. They'll all look good wrapped up under the tree because books are a perfect shape for wrapping.